Everyone, it's a big day for public education in the state of Arizona. I want to thank you all for being here this morning. Yesterday in my State of the State address, I said that we know how to get big things done here in the state of Arizona. And the way that we do it is the way that we've done it before. We've seen it with things like Proposition 123, and that meant that we built broad coalitions and that we brought leaders and influencers and decision makers from the business community, the education community, and people that care about the state of Arizona together. And I think if you look behind me here today, you can see that we've done it again. We've got a lot of wonderful people together for what's next in Arizona. So I want to specifically thank our school superintendents for being part of this coalition. Camille Castile, Mike Cowan, and Cal Baker from Chandler, Mesa, and Vail. We've got Northern Arizona and Southern Arizona represented here, along with our school business officials, school board members, educators, education champions, our business leaders, parents, legislators, and Speaker Mesnard and President Yarborough, who are demonstrating legislative leadership with their partnership on this plan, as well as Superintendent of Public Instruction, Diane Douglas. Now, let me address where we were, where we are right now, and then I'm going to talk to you about where we're going. But I think it's important to remember that in 2015, we faced a $1 billion budget shortfall. Since 2015, we have increased overall per student spending 10%, and that's adjusted for inflation. Over the last 3 years, we've committed $1.7 billion new state dollars to K-12 education, and since fiscal year 2015, school districts have increased their investment in teacher salaries by 9%. And today, we're investing additional dollars into K-12 education. Now, the question might be, why are we doing this? Well, the first reason we're doing it is because it's needed and necessary. I said that we can always do more for our kids and teachers. The other reason we're doing it is I've spent the last 3 years not only putting additional dollars into K-12 education, but crisscrossing this state and listening to the people that are standing here behind me, and also watching the good work that they're doing inside our schools, the results and outcomes they've been able to get with these dollars for our kids. And I think it's important to note the results that are happening in Arizona schools. I talked about those in the State of the State yesterday. These people are spending dollars appropriately, and there are more dollars on the way. So here's what they're going to be specifically. This will be a plan and a commitment to fully restore cuts from the recession to the additional assistance formula. And here's what it'll mean in dollars. $100 million additional dollars this year. $168 million next year. $236 million the year after that. $303 million in the fourth year, and $371 million in year number 5. These dollars will be permanent, and these dollars will be flexible. So they can be used for capital, but they can also be used for teacher salaries. Here's what else we will be doing. There will be $51.8 million for building renewal grants. That's the highest amount since 2007. There will be resources to identify which school buildings need repair and upgrades. There will also be bonding for new school construction, $88 million for 5 schools, along with the plan for new school buses. So I'm going to address specifically the capital funding lawsuit in closing comments, but at this time I want to turn it over to President Steve Yarborough. President.
I want to applaud the governor and his staff, and above all, the education leaders in this state who have worked to get us to this point. I want to simply say, as president of the Senate, I intend to do my very best to deliver on the promises that the governor has made. It is obviously a combination of legislative and executive efforts, and I intend to do my very best to make this, in fact, occur. I believe it will, with the leadership of the governor and with the educational leaders in our state. So look forward to making this a reality and doing great things for our K-12 public education students and the teachers who are vital to student academic achievement. So thank you.
Good morning. I want to echo the sentiments that were expressed by my colleague, President Yarborough. I am greatly encouraged by what I'm hearing today. I've been suggesting that we need to increase additional resources into the additional assistance part of the formula. In particular, this proposal would do that. I'm optimistic that as we go and express this to our colleagues in the House, that they're going to see this as an opportunity to do what we've been hoping to do, which is to continue investing more in K-12. I want to applaud those who are here, the education community, the business community, the governor for taking such an enormous role, in particular my superintendent from Chandler, Camille Castile. I look forward to working with all of you in the coming session as we make this a reality. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Mike Cowan, Superintendent of Mesa Public Schools. Thank you, Governor Ducey. Today is an important day for Mesa Unified School District and the students we teach, as well as the students across the great state of Arizona. With the support and partnership of Governor Ducey, we hope to result in approximately $371 million into Arizona's classrooms and schools. This is important. Mesa is the largest school district in the state of Arizona, serving approximately 64,000 students. Mesa will see roughly $6 million in July 1st of 2018 if this goes forward, with nearly $27 million once full funding is restored. This money will be used to fund important resources for our students, textbooks and technology, and safe learning environments for our teachers and students. These are real dollars that will be put into the system now to help the students that we're currently serving. I'm proud to support this plan and have great faith that our legislators and policymakers will support this significant education plan. Thank you so very much, Governor Ducey.
Good morning. The proposal that Governor Ducey has announced today will impact all students regardless of their education choice, socioeconomic status, or place of residence. Restoring this formula will help every child in Arizona and will provide the much needed relief immediately to the operation portion of the formula, which some districts like ours will be fortunate to redirect toward teacher salaries. Chandler's in a unique position as we continue to experience growth and have a community who has locally supported us. Even with that, we have redirected dollars from operations to capital to meet the needs of our schools. I thank Governor Ducey, our legislative leadership, for their leadership today and commitment to not only restoring the formula, but building schools, providing funds to maintain existing facilities, and placing teacher salary increase in the base. I know today is only the beginning of great things to come, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Thank you, Governor Ducey.
Good morning. I'm Calvin Baker, Superintendent of the Vail School District in Southern Arizona. School board members and superintendents in Pima County met last month and agreed that restoration of additional assistance or capital money was their absolute top priority. Education groups across the state have also identified capital funding as their top priority. This plan directly addresses that priority. In addition to restoring the capital formula, this plan also provides a significant amount of money for new schools and provides more funding for building renewal than we have seen in a decade. Necessity has forced many of us to use operational dollars, the same dollars we use for teacher salaries, to buy desks, computers, and repair school buildings. This plan will address that problem. Governor Ducey has heard the voices of public school leaders, responded to our priorities, and come up with a plan that is a very significant step towards better funding and thus more opportunities for our students. Now is the time for action to occur on this issue of capital funding. We can't afford to wait any longer. We have come together for solutions in the past, and clearly there is a need for us to come together to solve funding problems that loom in our future. That is why I am supporting the governor's plan, and I am encouraging others to do the same. Thank you, Governor Ducey.
I'm Diane Douglas. I have the honor and privilege of being your Superintendent of Public Instruction, and I'm delighted to be here today to support the governor's efforts and the legislature's efforts. I was on the Peoria Governing Board in 2009. I believe I was president of that board in 2009 when the recession hit. So I know the challenges that our districts have faced as they've had to do so much more with so much less. It's our duty to make sure we maintain safe schools for our students and our teachers, and to protect the investment that the taxpayers have made in those facilities. On my listening tour over the past 3 years, almost 60 town halls at this point, the number one thing I heard from our citizens is we want our teachers paid better. The number one issue I was able to discuss with our administrators was the lack of capital funding and how desperately it was needed. That's why I had a plan to get more money to teachers' salaries and to facilities, and I hope that now with these efforts we can support both of them. This is a great first step. I'm excited to be part of it to resolve two huge issues we've been dealing with in this state. Again, capital funding and our teacher salaries and retention of those great people who are in the schools with our precious children each and every single day. And I have to tell you, an added benefit that can come from this, to me, is to get money into our schools and out of the pockets and purses of lawyers. So this is a great step. Congratulations, Governor.
Thank you. I want to again thank all of the leaders and decision makers that are here, both from the business community and the education community and the education champions that are here. Very grateful to Speaker Mesnard and President Yarborough, along with the superintendents, Camille Castile from Chandler, and Mike Cowan from Mesa, and Cal Baker from Vail, for coming together along with the other leaders in the education community to bring these dollars forward. I want to amplify that these dollars are permanent, they are flexible, they can be used for both capital and for teachers' salaries. We can end this lawsuit, and this is the better way to end the lawsuit, through legislative collaboration with leaders inside our community. And to echo the words that were said just a few minutes ago, I would much rather be paying teachers than paying lawyers. You'll see our entire budget on Friday, but this is a sneak peek of what's ahead. Thank you to everyone who came here this morning. Appreciate it. Yes. So, come on down to the podium. Hang on a second. Good. I'm glad you guys got out of bed early this morning.
So, this $100 million is a small fraction of what the education community says they really need. There were education advocates at the Capitol just last week saying they need $1.1 billion. You're all celebrating this, but that's 10% of what the schools.
Look at the coalition that we've built here. This is coming together around available resources that we're going to bring to our schools in Arizona that are permanent and flexible and can be used for both capital and for teacher salaries. I think somehow in these questions, there's some discussion as if there was never a budget shortfall, as if the state never ran out of money. You heard that these are more dollars being brought forward than folks have seen in a decade. So this is the next step beyond Prop 123, beyond last year's State of the State, where we're going with education in the state of Arizona.
Where are those dollars coming from?
Those dollars are coming from the growing general fund as our economy is growing, our tax base is growing. The public schools are getting results. Dollars are going to teachers, up 9% since 2015. More dollars are needed for our teachers, and we're going to direct that from our budget.
Okay, but let's come back to the lawsuit, which you said you were going to address. And I appreciate let's pay teachers instead of lawyers, a nice soundbite. The numbers in the lawsuit, just
Howie, we settled the lawsuit with Proposition 123 by bringing a coalition of legislative leaders, the House, the Senate, the business community, and the education community. This is that coalition recreated to address the capital lawsuit. And how do you settle lawsuits? You settle lawsuits with dollars. We're bringing dollars to the equation. This lawsuit can be settled. We're demonstrating a 5-year forward-looking commitment to K-12 education in a state that is growing and an economy is growing.
So is this a formal offer to settle the lawsuit?
This will be memorialized in the budget document, and discussions will continue.
Okay, but we're still down to the question of this is, I appreciate this is flexible district additional assistance, covers back the capital that should have been there in the first place, but that still leaves out the whole M&O side, the fact that on an inflation-adjusted basis, we have less money per student now than we did a decade ago. So this is trying to take care of all.
This is a way to play with the numbers, and what we're going to do is bring additional dollars to education. When you have a state that's growing, when you have hundreds of thousands of people that are flocking to a state with additional kids, we need dollars for these schools and inside these classrooms. We're bringing the maximum amount available with the objective of settling the lawsuit. You can see the coalition of education leaders that we've brought here today from our public school system, superintendents, business officials, and educators.
So these are.
I'm doing Tucson. I'm doing Tucson for the State of the State, guys. You're more than welcome to meet me down there. We can visit after it.
Okay, Ms. Douglas, could you step
Thank
up?
you.
You said something in your part.
This is not my press conference. I'll come talk with you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.